a shelf nearby.
Well, how much is the game even? Let me check. My hero. Is your dad your superhero?
I'm thinking,
It's £55.
yeah, I'm thinking like a bro, cause I don't like,
Deluxe.
when I flipping, yeah, I don't like when you buy like the normal game and then when the DLC comes out,
Yeah.
it's more
But
expensive than the deluxe edition.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like Tekken's like that. Cause I mean, it's fine for like one season, but when like 4 seasons come out, then there's fucking like a load of money in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ultimate Edition's £95, which
I'm not gonna get the ultimate. I'm gonna get the deluxe.
no, but if it says season pass in it, but it depends on how many seasons it's gonna have. It's gonna have loads of seasons. I bet like the Deluxe Edition is probably gonna have one season, and like the Ultimate Edition is probably gonna have all the seasons.
Nah, it doesn't make a difference.
But then again, like even if like you could probably just upgrade, I guess for cheaper. I think. I don't know.
Actually, fuck it. I'm gonna probably get the normal edition. Unless when I see reviews of the game and everyone's hyping it up, saying, "Oh, it's one of the best games," then I'll get the deluxe.
How much would it be in gigabyte? I don't think it'll tell you in it. Nah, it won't tell you. It's not out yet. When does it come out? February, innit? I can't lie. You know, Dispatch. I was watching like the gameplay of it. The story is like mad interesting in it, but like the gameplay looks so boring.
I haven't even seen the gameplay. I've just seen the flipping cutscenes.
The cutscenes are like they're so good. It's so interesting. Like you can see all the different choices and shit.
So interesting.
But like it's like Telltale. I remember like it's like Batman and Walking Dead and shit.
Think about that. That's what the gameplay is.
Nah. The gameplay, the main like gameplay is like you have like a set, you know, like your team or whatever of heroes, and then you have to like
Yeah.
people call in for help or whatever, and then on the map you like choose which hero is most suited for it, and then they go out and help him.
Sounds like a strategy kind of game.
Yeah, it's like that. And then like occasionally you'll hack in, and then after you've done with your shift or whatever, then you go into story mode and that, and like the story cutscene, and you choose what shit you want. Like I can't lie, I was watching YouTubers, I just skipped those thoughts and I just watched the cutscenes.
Yeah,
Damn. Yeah, that's why I'm just watching YouTube.
I'm not watching YouTube.
Cause like my thing is I've been seeing like you can choose like a romance with Invisible Girl, or you can choose a romance with the blonde blazer.
So I was like, bro, which one do you think what I need to choose for? I'm so confused.
Nah, Invisible Girl, she's bad, but
Yeah, she's bad.
blonde blazer's bad as well, bro. But I'd choose Invisible, cause she freaky.
That wound needs more than
Like
sucking.
she was even
They
saying
just
like,
keep saying, "Oh, what happens if you pick this option, or what happens if you use this option on
but
this?"
it can have it like uncensored or something, yeah, and you can just see like people's dicks and shit. Like, and then like if you put on the censored mode, it just puts like a black box around it. Like, oh, there was one part where like her dress was like, you could see like her nipple over where her dress is.
Power out over there. Still hot.
Abdullah.
Wait, I'm trying to concentrate.
Okay.
This is
I
going
just
to
thought you
be
left
painful,
something.
isn't it?
It's not going to feel good. Ready?
Yes. On the count of 3.
1, 3.
Oh my god.
I'm finally gonna unlock the gun. I'll unlock the long range one. I'm mining the short range one.
You need to work on your bedside manner. But
Oh my god, you got you're taking the.
The man who did this said he was a customer.
his name is Unosuke. Works for Lord Saito. I built him a pistol. My best work. But I had second thoughts about selling it.
Against you.
I think I might be almost finished with the game. I don't know. I just got to the cherry blossom bit.
Do as they please.
I could deal with him. For a price.
Oh, but I'm almost like done. I'm pretty sure because I did this all the stuff there.
I need some air. Come with me to my workshop. Business has been good.
I'm Freddy Fazbear.
When Saito is hungry
I'm
for
gonna
firearms.
get you and I'm
That's
gonna
why I lost a
make
lot
you
of friends
scared.
in
I'm
this
Freddy
war. Now,
Fazbear.
Dragon's forces are
I'm
telling me
gonna
it's
get
Offer to
you.
sell to the
I'm
samurai.
Freddy
They don't
Fazbear.
have gunpowder
From
or
a Freddy
ammunition.
Fazbear movie. I'm Freddy
Monster
Fazbear.
shut my
I'm
doors.
gonna get you and sing you a
Good for you,
lullaby.
Ray.
I'm gonna get you
Some of my
and I'm
work
gonna make
has
you
the money to
scared.
buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Without Yotei, I may have to rethink that. Unosuke must be strong to fight. You can take the pistol I made when I escaped.
I have a laptop already.
That rifle was built for range. With my pistol, shoot They don't call me the Chinaman because I'm well versed in swords.
Pistols don't give it. Where did you find Unosuke?
He and his gang took over the Von City northeast of here.
They paid handsomely. Let's go.
I can fix up your rifle if you like.
Oh shit, you want to level up my Hanagashima? I don't have enough parts for that. I'm getting my bullets, okay.
For you,
Shatter.
I will always
Shatter.
protect you.
So I don't have enough coin, and I don't have... How have I run out of coins, bro? I mean, I've been leveling up everything. So which means I probably need to do more of my bounties, but I haven't done no bounties. I'm gonna get you or I'm gonna make you scared. I'm Freddy Fazbear. I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna make you scared. I'm Freddy Fazbear. I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna make you scared. I'm Freddy Fazbear. Ha 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 ha. My bad. I forgot I was crazy. I've been this way ever since I was a baby. And I promise you, I will never change.
I thought you wanted to fight to the death.
Be afraid. Oh, who's a good little elf? I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared.
Someone was definitely in trouble.
I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared.
Leave them alone. That's a bad wound. Does it hurt?
Please, show mercy.
Not so brave without your pistol.
It's yours.
Get up.
But you kill me.
I'll give you the same chance you gave to that family.
I won't be hunted like an animal.
Quick draw. Acquire all trick. What?
You're worse than an animal.
Oh shit! I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared.
Okay, we're gonna get raped.
Yes! I mean, no, please don't rape me. Please don't rape me.
Did you find Unosuke?
He was using your family as target. Still want to sell to Clan Saito?
This would happen.
You knew what kind of man he was. But you made that pistol for him anyway.
Tried not to sell. But you're right. There is blood on my hands.
No one comes out of war clean.
I thought I knew that. But at least I know that pistol is in good hands now. If you need any improvements to it, come to my shop.
Guns and consequences.
Go back! Need to look at your firearms? Show me what you back to work.
Ta ta to to ta. Ta la ta ta la to ta ta. Kasirika. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared. I'm pretty fast, bird. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared. I'm pretty fast, bird. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you scared. I'm so cool and I'm so gap.
My sisters find it funny to look up my name on Twitter and stuff, and I've recently just had to tell them, please, just don't. They send me stuff, and it's all fun, games, all that.
This game trolls you for being sus. In Dispatch, you can choose to kiss or not kiss the blonde blazer. If you don't kiss her, when Phenomenon first appears, everything's normal. Are you ready?
My share night is so bad.
I went back on the dark web, and after all these years of being on there, I can confidently tell you that there are only two types of people on the dark web. The first, people that are actually about it. These guys live and breathe dark web. They're in their group chats all day long. They're always hanging out with people. They literally make their friend groups on the dark web. They buy and sell items on there. They conduct business on there. And they're really about that whole privacy, anonymity, and security to a level that like the average person doesn't even know about. And then there's people that are not really too sure what the dark web even really is. Maybe I feel like you might fall into this category where you've never really actually been on it for yourself. Maybe you've seen my videos on it. Maybe you've seen other YouTubers' videos on it where they unbox a dark web mystery box, which is in reality just a repurposed Amazon box they had laying around at their house. Or maybe they told a story of how one time they had their webcam turned on, and then they were in a dark web bedroom where a hacker figured out who they were and got pissed off and started tickling them in their bedroom at 3 in the morning. But in reality, a lot of this is fake. So what the dark web really does consist of is a lot of marketplaces, a lot of...
And then what do you have? Yeah, look at this. Middle. It says mid, right? Yeah, that's a mid electric. What's up, guys? Main Man Sui here, and welcome back to another episode of Tekken Revisited. I'm gonna do another one with Insight. I think it's like non-functional in I can do whatever the fuck I want. This started sort of with Bob and a little bit with Lars, and then they picked up Mantle. What is it called? They continued the race, hit themselves to one specific style of play in Tekken. They dominate the mid-range. They dominate the close-up range. They have panic buttons. They have excellent punish. They have great pokes. They all have hell sweeps to 50-50. There are no drawbacks to playing those characters. And they shut you down with strong homing attacks. And Kazuya was very outdated because he was simply legacy. Kazuya never changed. But in this game, Kazuya is basically electric or hell sweep or sword 3. That is the character. If you block something that's -10, or he steps you, you whip something, hit confirmable flash punch, and you go down, and that's it. He's the most bare bones Kazuya ever. It's such a distinction between Tekken 8 Kazuya, because Tekken 8 Kazuya is sort of still hardcore 50-50, but there's so much more options on the character. You not only have electric for your neutral tool, but you have double fist. But you gotta understand that Kazuya in Tekken 7 and prior games, you didn't see him in competitive play because he couldn't play Tekken. He couldn't keep up with modern Tekken. You'd go up against a Julia who has a Ford 1 or other characters with
I'm Freddy Fazbear. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna make you good. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. My bad. I forget I was crazy. I've been this way ever since I was a baby.
Told a story of how one time they had their webcam turned on, and then they were in a dark web red room where a hacker figured out who they were and got pissed off and started tickling them in their bedroom at 3 in the morning. But in reality, a lot of this is fake. So what the dark web really does consist of is a lot of marketplaces, a lot of scammers, a lot of videos that are being shared, a lot of political forms.
Why does someone have to spectate me, man? I swear to God, I played 10 times Shadow when a fucking random teammate spectates me.
I was 12 years old when I first found the dark web with my friends in my brother's basement. We were geeking out. We saw a couple of scary videos online of someone talking about the dark web monkey house and all this crazy stuff. It was like illegal videos of people being like hurt really badly and stuff, and it's being live streamed, by the way, entirely fake. But that made us so intrigued. Me and the boys were like, bro, let's just go on the dark web and see what's actually on there. And so we see sites of rent a hacker, of buying illegal plants that look like grass that start with a W on there, or even just all of these illegal activities. Like, this is so crazy. So if I pay this guy 1 Bitcoin right now, he'll literally go and then like quick scope somebody IRL. And we thought this was all real. We were just 12 years old, very impressionable. We didn't know much about this. And what I found that strange is that even until today, when I go back on the dark web, those same websites are still up and active.
I'm surprised
Not a
the town
single line of
survived the
code even
invasion.
changed on those sites. And what I figured out was, at least now growing up, real dark web marketplaces, like places that legitimately are real, where you, it's like eBay or Amazon of the dark web that move millions of dollars per day in items,
To adapt.
usually don't last that long. Maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years at most. We have a site like the Silk Road, for instance, on the dark web, which is one of the most notorious marketplaces on the dark web, where the owner was literally just a regular guy in his early 20s in California. He built up the site on the dark web. He was making millions of dollars, and then the FBI actually ended up catching it. And so these sites usually don't last very long. The owners of it make their millions. They either scam everybody by doing a rug pull. They basically say, hey, look, if you want to buy this item on the dark web, you basically pay us the Bitcoin or whatever, cryptocurrency like Monero. You pay us this money. We'll make sure that this seller sends it to you. Just saying theoretically, YouTube manual reviewers don't actually, ban this video or whatever. But then the seller technically, theoretically, would send this item to you to your house, like via USPS or whatever type of like postal service they have. And then once the owner of the site says, okay, you got the package, everything looks good, now we'll give this person the money. If there's a dispute, we'll work it out, but basically they're the middleman. It's called an escrow service, right? That's kind of how eBay works, or any of these sites work online right now. And that same exact business model works on the dark web, and that's what people actually do. And so if the owner of this marketplace doesn't get caught by the FBI or the CIA or any three-letter agency, then they're probably going to eventually just a rug pull. Because while they're doing the transaction, they're basically they have a wallet of Bitcoin, right, where everyone sends the money to, and they're just watching to make sure the item actually gets delivered. But at any given moment, while this is happening, thousands of transactions are taking place, they really could just say, you know what? Let me just not send the money to the seller. And they wait 5 hours, they wait 24 hours, everyone starts freaking out about it, like, hey, why are you not paying up? 3-4 days later, the whole site goes down, and they basically walk away with millions. They do this sort of like exit scam or rug pull, and that's usually what happens on these dark web marketplaces. And so either they get caught, or they scam everybody, but they never last for 15 years. And so when I was 12 years old, so that was 12 years ago, I'm 24 now. The same exact sites are still up. And so a lot of those sites actually are honeypots. My theory is that the government actually owns those sites. I believe that they created these sites to actually catch people that are looking to buy drugs or to buy illegal firearms or to buy images of people that are non-consensual and totally illegal. And they post these sites on there, really, really simple websites that you can just press buy now, scan this code, send the Bitcoin, and you should have it shipped to your house. But in reality, I feel like those sites are just traps. Because if they're up for all that time, everybody knows online, on Reddit, on forum posts, they say, don't buy from these sites, they're all fake. It makes sense that these sites are actually government sponsored. It'd be really, really convenient. I'm not going to say that the government owns them, but it'd be really convenient if the government did own a site like that. Because not only are they making free passive money for no reason, dumb people are sending them money to go buy, a little green flower that grows on the floor. But they're also finding out where they live and what their Bitcoin wallet address is. People usually aren't smart enough to know how to tumble their Bitcoin and all this stuff, which I'll talk about in a later video. And so they find out who these people are, and they make money off of them, and they've been up for over 12 years. And so these sites usually are fake. But the overarching problem when it comes to the dark web is that there's one thing that honestly will never ever go away. Okay, and this is something that I can almost guarantee if you spend more than 20 minutes of your life on the dark web for yourself, which I say you can never actually do, just watch my videos on it, I'll show you what's actually on there. But if you spend more than 20 minutes on the dark web, I can almost guarantee you're going to come across CP. Of course, I can't tell you what CP is. I can't say it in this video. YouTube algorithm will just go and demonetize me. But you can look in the comments. Maybe a funny person down there will let you know what it is. It's not Club Penguin. It's not cheese pizza. And it's not car parts. You can use your deductive reasoning skills to figure out what CP is. And that will never go away from the dark web. The dark web has been known for ages to be the home of where CP even exists, where it's traded, where it lives, where you can buy it, where you can send it, where you can sell it, everything. That's where it all goes down. And for a long time, it always was there. And honestly, at this point, nothing new happens. Yeah, you're still going to come across it. I can almost guarantee you. If you're just browsing the dark web, you're pressing on links, looking at sites, all this stuff, it's going to show up every single time. Even if your intention isn't to look at it. even if your intention is to look at 18 plus, it's always going to be littered in there and you're going to see it guaranteed. It's not like it warns you. It says, hey, just to make sure you're about to view something that's actually really illegal. If you get caught with this, you're probably going to go to jail. No, it's not even like that, bro. Right in your face, flashing images on screen. Everybody's seen it before. And it's weird and it's actually like extremely creepy stuff. And so in the last video I talked about how there was a guy wearing a horse mask in the thumbnail of these videos. I guess he was selling videos of CP, but he was wearing a horse mask to cover his face. I don't know why it was. He could have wore anything, but he was wearing a horse mask, and he was there with like children, right? And so there's a lot of these really strange things that you see on there. Could be for like shock value, could be to act you into like, you know, scare someone that's staying in longer or trying to actually buy it. But you see some weird stuff like that. And then what you see now typically isn't that the dark web is like the scariest place on the planet Earth where you see a lot of this CP. Because to even get out there, you have to download a certain software on your computer, like on your actual home computer called Tor. And then you have to go find these really weird links that end with .onion and not .com, like regular website or internet is. And after you spend, you know, all this time trying to get these links and go on Tor and see what it's actually like, it takes a long time to actually find anything remotely interesting. Okay, so it's not all of that exciting. But knowing that you have to go through all these hoops, like get onto an actual computer, don't you think that these people would want something more accessible? These creeps, these PDF files, would not want to hop on a computer every time they want to go view their stuff and get their fix. And so right now, like if I were to tell you this, for instance, people would want something more accessible. These
Telegram.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
Creeps, these PDF files would not want to hop on a computer every time they want to go view their stuff and get their fix. And so right now, like if I were to tell you this, for instance, if I was to make it so that, or the world was to make it so that to watch 18 plus videos online, you had to go to an actual physical computer. I see like you lose 90% of business, right? Almost everybody gets that little whisper from their phone. And it's just so much more convenient, right? Or to say, if you want to use Instagram, you have to use it on an actual computer. No one's going to go to a computer to use Instagram. Like, that's just not how it works. The whole idea is that it's close to you. It's like so accessible. And so now CP is becoming that way.
Before I became a dad, I realized I can't just keep ignoring my pension because it wasn't just my future anymore. Like most people,
Fuck you.
Because it's not like you have
Fuck
to
your
go to the
future.
dark web and load up these really slow websites, do 15 different nodes and IP addresses to get onto a certain site using Tor. But you get it right away, like immediately with fast load times. And the way that it's being shared
Telegram.
is through Telegram. It's coming right to the clear internet, to the clear net. It's not even on some .onion site. Now basically anybody can view it. And the way that this is happening, this is what happened to me. Someone in my Discord server, someone joined my server, right? This guy was a freaking weirdo. By the way, this happens and could happen to basically any server, any public forum. Someone joins in with a brand new Discord account, aged 45 minutes old. He's like, hey guys, I want to show you something cool. Check out my Telegram link where I have, really cool, funny pictures and stuff like that. Something, whatever he'll say. Anything to get people interested. And then he'll send this link anywhere online. Could be a bot, it could be a person, anywhere. And then you'll just see a link sitting there, right? And then what happened in my case was that someone tagged @mod. Check this link out, or check who this guy is. People usually in my certain know to not click links. A lot of my subscribers know to be a lot more smart than that. And so I was active at that time. They go check it out, see if I have to go ban this kid or if it's like an actual picture of like a funny meme or something like that, right? People do that because, sending gifts and stuff. So I press on it, I load up a VPN first, make sure I'm all safe. I press on it, and the first thing that I saw, was on my phone, my entire phone screen. It wasn't even like it was hidden. Right in front of my face, the entire web browser loaded up with straight up CP, like flashing in big, and it was like an actual GIF. So you see like a lot of stuff flashing back and forth. And there was some text on the screen, I forgot what the text said, but basically it was a call to action saying like, join our Telegram server now for free videos like this and pictures like this, and it was like -18, showing that it's like kids, right? My whole body just tensed up. I right away closed out of it, deleted it, went back to my Discord server, banned that freaking weirdo. Thankfully, people in my server know to not click links. They're just like basic operational security. And now that's where this stuff actually lives. And so if you do a little bit of research on this, you look up online, I've already done, you look up on Google, for instance, like people talking on Reddit or any forums online, Telegram CP, right? Or Telegram child problems and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of people posting in subreddits like r/legal or r/privacy. And they'll always be talking about like, guys, I just made a big mistake. I'm so worried right now, I'm sweating. I was in a Telegram group. I've been in there for a while. They post a lot of really attractive women in there. Obviously, people are trying to go watch P in Telegram, which is kind of honestly, it's pretty weird. Like, why are you on Telegram? But watching P is bad.
So true.
Imagine going to Telegram to watch this. It's just odd. And people do it. They get pulled in, they get sucked into these servers. It's so accessible. They post, like, I guess, the videos that are, like, behind a paywall, they kind of, like, pirate and then post in those Telegram groups so you can get them for free. They kind of pull you in with those types of tactics. And then that same group of people, typically these people are not normal people. They're not your friends at school. They're not people you come across, your colleagues at work. These guys are weirdos, straight up. They're very, very odd, weird social outcasts in real life. So these people also are interested not only in 18 plus videos, but videos that are the opposite. That's the least that I should probably say. And so in those Telegram groups, I remember seeing on Reddit one person, many people actually saying, there's a lot of posts on this, but one person was saying in specific, I've been in the server for about a week, I watch these like videos on there, whatever. Obviously everything there is like high production, it's like everyone's 18 and over, it's fully legal, everything is legal. But when I pressed on other links that the owner of the group chat was sending to us, I pressed on different links and I end up in a Telegram group where people are posting stuff that's definitely not legal. That's what the guy said, like literally word for it. He was like, this is definitely not an adult. He's like, I knew that from the first second I looked at it. I left the group, I uninstalled Telegram, he said I deactivated and deleted my Telegram account. And he's like, it's been 1 full week and I can't even sleep right. I can't get, he literally said, I can't get those images out of my head. They're burned into my brain. And so that's happening a lot on Telegram. Because it's known to be this like encrypted, secure messaging where you can put group chats and all that sort of thing, that's what's going to happen on there. When you have that level of privacy, and I'm not saying privacy is a bad thing, I really, really support privacy as a whole. When you have that level of encryption and privacy on there, that's what people are going to use it for. And so it's really a double-edged sword, because when you have sites like Mega, right, you know, the one like file sharing site where like the files that are really fully encrypted, I made a full video talking about how even on social media, if you look up like hashtag math, I think it's probably been fixed now since I made this video on it years back, but there were certain keywords that these PDF files knew. They knew what to look up on Instagram, on Twitter, on any of these platforms. If you look up hashtag MAP, it doesn't mean math, like Dora the Explorer or something. It means minor attracted person. And so they would literally share mega links on there. People would post it on brand new accounts. They'd literally be spamming it all over the place.
Bro, Dala.
Mega link.
Bro, one thing I hate about having this controller here, just spare. Like, I think like the glue that holds the stick together or something comes up or something. But it's like, I have this controller as a spare in it. For like, maybe if someone wants to come over, we can play games. But like, the sticks are gonna sticky on them, bro. It's so weird. It's like, I have to like wipe them for a bit before like the sticks go like not sticky anymore.
Yeah, even my other controllers that like that.
It's so fucking like annoying, because it's like, if someone comes over and I hand them the controller, all let's play, and they're like, why the fuck the controller is sticky? That's gonna make me look like a fucking weirdo, innit? But like, I mean, the whole controller is clean except for the sticks. Cause my PS4 controller got like that as well. It's like in the drawer. Yeah. It's like that as well when I was playing with it. Like on my main controller, it's fine. You know.
Are fully encrypted, and then when you load up the actual link, there's like thousands of gigabytes, there's terabytes of photos and videos that would just be littered all over the place, and that's how they're actually sharing it now. And so all of this is accessible on a cell phone. You no longer have to go to the dark web to go and see this sort of thing, which, by the way, is still definitely there and is never going to be fixed. But now it's on the clear internet. And so in these groups, the same things that you would find on the dark web, you're going to also see on Telegram. There's carding. People are just buying and selling fake credit cards. Yours could possibly be on there one day if you're not safe and careful enough, which I'll make a video on coming up soon, so subscribe to that. There is people, you know, buying and selling illegal plants or items that, or like substances, I should say, to not get demonetized. People are buying and selling that sort of thing on there too. They have their own marketplaces. It's extremely easy to find. They're selling hacking services, which actually possibly could be fake. They're selling DDoS services, where you can send them someone's IP address that, I'm just saying theoretically, you can send them someone's IP address that you don't like, just as a joke, I'm not saying this is real, and then you could have the IP address taken down by being flooded with a bunch of fake requests. And so all of these things are being done now over the phone. And so the level of accessibility is all right there now. And so when it comes to the dark web, yes, it is what you think it is sometimes. Where it's, yeah, it's pretty scary. You can buy stuff. You can buy very illegal things. Yeah, true. You can see a lot of bad things. But in reality, it's nothing more scary than the regular internet. And so right now, people are able to access this on their regular browsers. They can find this stuff probably on Google. They find it on social media. They find it links littered all over the place. So if someone's looking for this stuff, it's going to find them on the regular web or on the dark web. And so that's the reality of it. The dark web is still the same place as it always was, but now the internet is starting to kind of leak into there too. They're getting really creative with how they share stuff. And so I'd say to kind of just be safe. Don't be naive when it comes to like, oh, dark web hackers, spooky, scary men. It's really all over the web too. So if you have any little brothers, sisters, or kids, make sure that you're using a lot of parental controls. Make sure that you're doing everything you possibly could. Probably in the description I have a full video that you can follow where it'll teach you how to protect all their devices so they don't accidentally stumble across this sort of thing. Because there are ways to actually protect them. And so that's the direction of the internet at the moment. It's pretty odd. Thank you for watching this video. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.
That's how I guarantee I get the cheapest train tickets.
Why the fuck can't I leave that ad
paying full
after?
price at the ticket machines for my train ticket, and
NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL combined. This video will make a lot of companies lose a lot of money. There will be a smear campaign against me. People will try to defame me shortly after this video goes up. I'm warning you right now. The industry has done this to people before who speak out against them, and I will not be an exception. Please stay vigilant. The claims will not be true. 1973 Nobel Prize winner Nicholas Tinbergen. His groundbreaking discovery, the supernormal stimulus. He understood that female butterflies attract male butterflies by using the colors and patterns on their wings. The more beautiful they are, the more valuable the female is. So he created cardboard butterflies with designs that were way more beautiful than the normal designs on real female butterflies. Surprisingly, the male butterflies started to abandon the real females to attempt to mate with the fake cardboard. He called this the supernormal stimulus because by stimulating the butterflies through the fake cardboard cutouts, he could change the behaviors of the butterflies, actually tricking them into wasting all their time and energy chasing an illusion that's not even real. We're seeing the entirety of the human race responding to a supernormal stimulus at the moment. A drug as addictive as cocaine and heroin, widely available for everyone to consume for free, including children. I've been battling and helping others battle the disastrous effects of porn addiction for over 6 years now. Children have the ability to access millions of adult content at the tips of their fingers. Children being at the risk of addiction is a real problem, and as we approach and surpass 1 million subscribers, the time has finally come to push our project to the next level. Lock in with me, and I'll show you how we can save our children from this new drug. Now, if you're sitting there skeptical thinking, why can't we just teach children to avoid clicking on these adult websites to begin with? A study done with over 20,000 children revealed that 1 in every 5 in this study encountered P sites even though they had no desire to view it at all. The fact that children are able to view explicit content of naked men and women doing the most dangerous sexual acts is concerning. This is why states like Louisiana and Utah, by the time this video is posted, have age-restricted P to prevent children from accessing willingly or unwillingly. All of the other states and much of the world still allows children to access P sites, but we're going to change that. Neuroscientist of Cambridge University, Dr. Valerie says there is a clear difference in brain activity between patients who have compulsive sexual behavior and healthy volunteers. These differences mirror those of drug addicts. Now, listen closely, because all of the studies you're about to witness were a result of thousands of dollars paid for researchers to create an in-depth literature review, thus gathering all of the data regarding the disastrous effects of children's early onset exposure to pornography. The document that we've been working on is now free and open sourced because this information does not deserve to be gatekept and held private, but instead pioneering our future with the truth and with the facts. This document is in the description and in the pinned comment for everyone to see for themselves. P has no barriers. Unlike other drugs such as cocaine and heroin, it's more accessible and infinitely more affordable. On top of all of that, it's completely anonymous, and no need to show ID either, which means it can be viewed by children unless action is taken. These are 46 studies showing how you can literally tell whether or not a child is addicted to P. Simply by scanning the electrical signals on their brain, they're neurochemically changed to become more impulsive and lower their attention span. Let me reiterate, watching P as a child will literally change your brain. The same way a doctor can tell if you're a smoker by looking at your lungs, a child's brain will show if they're an addict. This is making empirical changes that we can actually observe. How can anybody claim that this isn't harmful? They'd be going against mountains of data supporting the truth. More impulsive children with lowered attention spans is a recipe for disaster. Those two traits become a lifelong mental struggle. Also, aren't those two traits very similar to somebody that has ADHD? This study here shows the intricate details of neurochemical rewiring consumers to crave P. The nucleus accumbens, I can't even say that, also known as the pleasure center of the brain, holds the transcription factor delta phos B, also known as the dopamine switch. The study details how sexual experience increases delta phos B levels. When the levels are high, we perceive things to be more rewarding. The study mentions that long-term expression presents a memory for natural reward, meaning that it causes addiction. This reward circuit exploitation causes further detriment to the user via a spike in adrenaline and cortisol followed by a significant drop. Although these hormones are often described as stress hormones, they are vital for us to feel energized and motivated as well. This causes users to become lazy and dissatisfied. Now, children who begin watching P at a young age are not only neurochemically rewiring themselves to become addicted for life, but they are also increasing their susceptibility to anxiety. According to another study, compulsive sexual behavior is associated with anxiousness, loneliness, and even more usage of P to cope. Again, negative emotions of anxiousness and loneliness are strongly associated with high frequency of P usage. It's a negative feedback loop. Pair this along with the fact that most people get exposed to P before puberty. You see the start of a life-ruining addiction by this. And this is also why we use the term pornography addiction, since many studies from the recent scientific literature refer and support the claim that it is an addiction. Numerous studies recognize that it is a behavioral addiction despite the DSM-5 not having added P addiction as a separate diagnosis. However, it is worth noting that the ICD-11 recognizes CSBD, which is compulsive sexual behavior disorder, as a clinical diagnosis, and it includes extensive use.
We may as well use it.
Anything to avenge mother and father.
We will bring them justice and win this war. Natsumai, how did it go with her? She sometimes finds flower arrangements.
We had a little adventure. Probably not. But she cares. It's that from her father.
And her knack for causing trouble? Who does she get that from?
You should have told me about that.
Oh god.
Sorry. I was trying to shield you. There's the world to keep from police. One that you and I know is real.
She's already in it, Jubei. She's growing up fast.
That's what I'm afraid of. I've been too busy. The lighthouse is just ahead.
Do you think this plan will work?
I hope so. Our scouts have only caught glimpses of the dragon.
Because he's careful. He knows he's a target. We'll only get one shot at him.
Then let's make it count. This is it. We'll speak with my soldiers. The hour has come. We fight back. We kick the enemy off our shore. My associate and I will focus on killing the dragon.
That's right. That'll be the last thing these dogs ever see.
She and I will sneak in and confirm the dragon's here. Wait for our signal, then blow the gates and attack. Men, take your positions. This way, Atsu. We'll climb up the rocks.
Use of pornography as one of its clinical manifestations. This study done in Sweden took 393 girls at the age of 16. 30% of them actually consumed P, and of those who had consumed it, 43% of them had fantasies about trying to copy sexual acts, and 39% of them had attempted to actually copy these activities that they were watching in the P videos. The girls who consumed P compared to those who didn't had way more sexual experiences with peers, way more peer relationship problems, more alcohol consumption, yes I said alcohol, and more smoking issues, all accompanied with more rates of casual sex. So there's no way that anybody can make the claim. Just watching it doesn't mean that you're more likely to act on it, because studies prove time and time that it does. Another study done in Sweden took 477 high schoolers from 53 randomly selected high schools to determine the lifestyle effects of P. 96% of these high schoolers admit to watching P, 10% admit to doing it every single day, and of those who do were also reported to have more one-night stands and more sex with friends. A higher proportion of the daily consumers of P also had degenerative habits such as spending 10 hours straight in front of a computer several times a week, also more relationship problems with peers, more absences in school attendance without reason, higher consumption of oral tobacco and alcohol. Yes, this was reported about high schoolers in their teenage years, and even higher rates of obesity when compared to the infrequent consumers of P. this one addiction can cause problems in many other facets of life and should not be taken as an isolated issue that starts and ends in your bathroom. This study delved deeper into why people even watch P to begin with. It concluded the primary motivations were sexual pleasure, emotional distraction/suppression, stress reduction, fantasy, boredom, avoidance, and lack of sexual satisfaction. It's crystal clear that pornography is used as a coping mechanism for misery, and yet it only makes the life of the consumer even more miserable. They aren't facing their problems at hand. Instead, they are using P to escape reality, making them crave P even further. And we're not talking about some small group of lives that are being affected by this. A study shows that 77.9% of high schoolers are watching P. That is insane. If you're in high school, just imagine that nearly 80% of your entire high school watches porn, and none of them would even admit to it. If you're a parent, there is a 77.9% chance that if your kid is in high school, they're watching it too. Now, you might be imagining a P addict to be some lonely antisocial outcast that's in his bedroom all day, but that's not always the case. A study done in New Zealand with a group of 8th graders showed that 50% of them admit to being exposed to P. These same kids would go on to show patterns of early sexual debut, unsafe sex, and even having multiple sexual partners. 8th graders, seemingly harmless, but when under the influence of P, would make them act in harmful ways, especially to others. This study combined reports from 43 other studies to draw stronger correlations between P consumption and sexual violence. It concluded, those who consume P are not only more likely to commit sexual acts of violence, but when they see others being sexually harassed and abused, they are less likely to do anything about it. That means they become numb to the abuse they're watching, and immorality is normalized in their minds. These outrageous, harmful, and unsafe acts people are consuming shouldn't be dismissed as a harmless video. They have a direct correlation in how people act after watching them. They become accustomed to the violence, they act on it themselves, and turn their head when they see others doing it too. This is what the P industry has been doing to our generation. I'm not making these claims from my head. I'm sourcing the research and data to prove all of these claims. Another study shows that people watching P from an early age will elicit harmful tendencies during the real thing. So these minors want to practice what they're watching, and P becomes their teacher. Another perfect example of P viewers acting out what they see on screen is found in a study done on teenagers in the USA, which concluded that exposure to P leads to higher probability of these teens doing the deed with no protection. This, of course, is because that's what they saw on the internet. It clearly stated that P can be a risk factor for condomless X. But we know that the entire world is watching, not just the USA where the study took place. Children's Commissioner for England, Dame Rachel de Souza, is responsible for heavily reporting the impact of online P and its disastrous effect on children. She was motivated by her own experiences, such as a young girl coming up to her and telling her that her first kiss with her 12-year-old boyfriend actually ended up by him strangling her. He saw it in a P video and thought that it was normal. During 2021 and 22, she led an investigation into online sexual harassment, including children, and she actually stated, and I quote, "Young people told me in unequivocal terms that harmful behavior is directly influenced by violent P." Another study that she had led was published in 2023, where she surveyed 1,000 high schoolers, from which 640 actively were consumers of P. The report concluded that 70% had encountered violent P before the age of 18, and this report finds that frequent users of P are more likely to engage in physically aggressive sex acts. These shocking statistics have made their way to the United Kingdom Parliament, where there is an online safety bill being discussed to regulate P exposure online as this video is being released. It's happening, it's working, our voices are actually being heard. Shocking results from a study done with the Australian youth showed that not only was the average age of viewing P 13 among boys and 16 among girls, by the way, this is the average, not the youngest, but the more frequent P usage was also associated with non-heterosexual identity, mental health problems, and oddly enough, first-time attempts at doing the deed from the back. You see what I'm saying? Not surprising considering that that's what they've learned from watching the videos, and we know that from other studies, kids actually imitate what they watch in these videos. This study here has actually shown a slight increase in belief that P should be illegal. This is a 40-year-long study we're talking about here, and to no surprise, you see again a great increase in the number of young people consuming P. The technical product manager working at P-Hub just had video footage leaked where he said this.
Do you think it's addictive?
I think so. For sure. That can't be normal. That can't be healthy. That can't be like that must.
Dude, that can't be normal. That can't be healthy. By someone that's worked at this company for 10 years, they know it themselves.
That's like sick.
Now your partner, who's already a P addict, is going to assume that you can act just like the guys or girls in the video, which honestly you could never because it's all lighting, cameras, and surgery, which that's just not realistic. So your P addict partner, who's already mentally unwell, has anxiety and depression, will no longer turn to you, but they will turn to the butterfly mentioned in the intro of this video. They'll instead try to cope with their negative feelings by going on a never-ending chase towards the cardboard cutouts that are made so beautifully, so stimulating, that there is no motivation to go back to you. In fact, since pee and masturbation go hand in hand, these addicts will stimulate themselves until they end up with low sex drive, which actually leads to low motivation to find mates. And quite frankly, they aren't even motivated to do the things that would make them more appealing to the opposite sex, so they would most likely never really find mates. This unfortunate reality has men wandering further away, not only from committed relationships, but from success at every level of life. This motivation is diminished entirely. The drive is dead. If you thought that this was destructive enough, then trust me, we're just getting started, because a study on WebMD shows how pee consumption actually leads to sexual dysfunction, such as erectile dysfunction, diminished libido, less satisfaction when having sex with their real-life partners. The prevalence of these three symptoms will undeniably lower the amount of male-to-female unions, which will actually lead to less children, which is what we're seeing by the global birth rate crisis. We have become the butterflies in this mass human experiment on the supernormal stimulus we call pee. But we haven't even gone into the bigger effects of this mass experiment just yet. If you thought this was destructive enough, trust me, we're just getting started. Look, regardless of our faith, political identities, and background, I hope that we can all come to the common ground and we can all agree that something as explicit, as harmful, and as addictive as pee should be regulated away from vulnerable children. Pee and the wider hypersexualization of our culture has created a climate shift from a society dedicated to peace and harmony to a culture obsessed with pleasure and instant gratification and objectification of people. I know it seems like everything that I just said was so negative, but this one study could actually make up for all of it.
The
fuck? A study done with 2,518 to 19-year-olds actually reported that quality time with parents lowered the likelihood of pee access, masturbation, and even sex. This is the best first step solution to any parent or older brother or family watching this video. Simply spend more time with your kids, and they will spend less time with porn. The further they are from you, the closer they are to pornography. And until it's age restricted, the solution lies right here. A similar study done with a younger group, primarily elementary school children, showed the intricacies of parental effects in children accessing pee. From the 16% of children that actually admitted to using their mobile devices to watch pee, 80% of their parents had no idea of this act. The reasons highlighted in the study were the fact that the parents allowed the children to have such devices to begin with, then allowed unrestricted access to these devices, and had no communication of the harms of a device. This phenomenon was more common in households actually suffering from poverty, believe it or not. So I have a full video that's listed in the description and the pinned comments that will show you as a parent how to talk to your child and how to block pee from every device in your household so they don't accidentally stumble across it. Now we can easily deduce that neglectful parenting, parents that don't spend time with their children, talk to them, have open communication, will have children that easily consume more pornography and become addicts. Now there was even a study done where they took 73 teenagers who were all serving sentences in prison for committing sexual offenses. 1 in every 4 of them came from a sexualized family environment, and 3 in every 4 of them, the vast majority, admitted to early addictions to pornography. And since we're talking about offenders, Ted Bundy himself, the American serial killer who and multiple women, actually states,
but as a young boy, I mean the boy of 12 or 13, that I encountered outside the home again, the softcore. My experience with is generally like an addiction. You keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement, until you reach the point where the family goes so far. You begin to wonder if maybe actually doing it will give you that which is beyond just reading about it or looking at it. Basically, I was a normal person. And people need to recognize those of us who have been influenced by violence are not some kind of inherent monsters. We are your sons and we are your husbands. We grew up in regular families. And pornography can reach out and snatch a kid out of any house today. They'd snatch me out of my home. But I've lived in prison for a long time now. And I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography, without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography.
Ted, what would your life have been like without that influence?
It would have been a lot better for me and lots of other people. I know that lots of other innocent people, victims and families. A life that would not have involved, I'm absolutely certain, would not have involved this kind of violence that I have committed.
Cover a phenomenal genius app.
Now, this study on parenting shows that parents who were calm and forgiving were more likely to not communicate their views toward their children viewing TV. Therefore, less active in controlling their access to it, which is always going to be inevitable, obviously. Parents who were strict and punishing were more active in expressing their concerns and restricting access to pee for their kids. It's also interesting to note that the fathers didn't like talking about the issue as much as the mothers did, which were a lot more vocal. Therefore, mothers play an even more important role in communication and protecting their kids from pee addicts. However, it is clear that easygoing parents try to live a live and let live lifestyle, which will actually increase their likelihood of having children who will suffer from a pee addiction. It is so important in an era where the traditional family structure is being attacked from all sides. We see it everywhere. It's trying to atomize the family into lonely pieces and not a strong, unified family, where we have, a solid father and mother that can protect themselves and their children from the devastating effects of products such as pornography that started its attack on the family structure and did plenty of damage before moving on to its next prey, the culture that bonds society. Now, this environment must change for P to flourish. Therefore, it must make a culture. And that's exactly what's going on. This is why we see the prevalence of hookup culture, the epitome of shamelessness, the glamour of high body counts, and boasting about extreme sexual experiences. If you've been in any high school, you can hear all the guys talking about how much action they got last night. And that's actually why being a virgin went from being a flex to an insult, which is why I keep my V card on me. Version of my virginity I have on me at all times.
The spider.
He may not be as cautious as the dragon.
Get your very own stainless steel key card
I'll have to discuss it
right now. A study done on Dutch adolescents was that watching P predicted engagement in casual sex over time. This is because watching sexually explicit internet material, SEIM, changed the attitude of these adolescents to equate sex with the core of sexual gratification, thus watering it down from intimacy, bonding, procreating, and love, which is what it should be, to nothing more than physical pleasure. This chase for the sexual gratification has led the normalization of hookup culture in today's time. The more meaningless sex you have, the higher status you are. It's a filthy culture, and we know exactly who to blame. Now, this study, I'm not sure how I never heard of it before looking for this video, but it was a large study done in the USA between 1973 and 2010, showing how those who consume pee are more accepting of teenage intercourse, casual intercourse, paid intercourse, and even cheating on their partner. I mean, isn't that what the highest viewed videos on those sites even contain? Cheating, casual, random, or even glorifying young people by having adults act as them? Full video in the cards above, by the way. I made a video explaining how there's a culture showing that in these videos where they had 18-year-olds, fully legal, actually acting and depicting children on these legal sites, and that's what's actually fueling this disgusting CP crave. Check out the video above. New footage just leaked where the senior scriptwriter working at MindGeek, the former parent company of P-Hub, just said this.
The dudes that do the most conversion rates are guys that look like 15, even though they're like 20 years old. So there's this one guy named Jordy, and he just looks like a little kid, and they put him in scenes so it looks like this little kid is but it makes a lot of money, so.
Also, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It makes a lot of money. The point is that the large shift into glorifying hookup culture happening around the entire world right now is definitely associated with the rise of pee consumption. And this makes total sense from the earlier studies that we saw in behavior when we learned that people who watch pee tend to imitate it as well. We're literally seeing families break apart due to cheating scandals and unexpected teenage pregnancies. We knew all along, it's common knowledge, that humans conform to what is normalized in society. Psychologists refer to this as social conformity. This phenomenon has been utilized by corporations to make absolute bank. We see it everywhere. If you're able to make a lip filler and cheekbone surgery the standard of beauty, then you can expect a lineup in front of a corporation that sells plastic surgery. This is because people want to conform to what the normal standard is, and if they are not able to, they will feel like they're below the standard, they're below normal, and they will have to suffer with the feeling of insecurity their entire life until they begin to love themselves. This study done on over 200 high schoolers, 59% of whom were females, suggested that boys and girls may develop self-objectification and body comparison. A growing sensation of a body dysmorphia is being instilled in these young teenagers. Just as males will watch P and want a woman that looks identical to their favorite dream P star, blind to the fact that these standards are often exaggerated with extreme camera angles, plastic surgery, fillings, beauty filters, lighting, and many other tactics to make these erotic visuals even more appealing and unrealistic and unattainable, females begin to think that they have no other choice but to go under the knife. And there are plenty of companies waiting for them to come this way, obviously profiting off of women who don't love themselves and feel horrible about their own body. Pornography is making them do this. Take this study for an example. It's done on over 1,500 youth, and it concluded that prior exposure to parental spousal abuse and current exposure to violent pornography were each strongly associated with the emergence of sexual violence. A recent 2023 report shows us that engaging in this early sexual intercourse between ages 13 to 16 that has been normalized through pornography and hookup culture is associated with higher rates of STIs, pregnancies, and even more depressive symptoms. In this study, high schoolers admit that they were exposed to P through friends or followers on social media, and at times through sexual advertisements littered through social media, YouTube included, by the way. Most of these high schoolers admit to their first encounter with P being unintended, and we know how the cycle starts after that. It starts off one time by accident, and you have to come back every single day. Another study confirms the same conclusions with its findings from over 55,000 participants. Approximately 1 in 5 youth experience unwanted online exposure to sexually explicit material, and 1 in 9 youth experience online sexual solicitation. We all have people that send it and post it all over these group chats and sites. It's going to happen. Not only is this transition to a hookup culture a health concern, but a humanitarian concern as well. The youth have always been the life of society. They're quite literally the future. Yet never before has there been such a widespread addiction among them, destroying their young minds. But I'm not just here to spread the bad news. I actually had a plan.
New user exclusive. 10 pounds off train traffic.
Fuck off.
Now.
£10 off.
Do you want a clear and disciplined mind? P destroys this. With science, we can prove. If you want to have a loving partner and a strong family, strong foundation, strong marriage, then P will also likely destroy this as well. P also causes people to believe that there is nothing wrong with shamelessness. Like the other drugs, this one makes us promises and never fulfills. P promises intimacy, but we feel isolation. P promises excitement, but we end up bored. P promises freedom, but we end up enslaved. P conditions its users to replicate destructive behavior such as unsafe sex and even sexual abuse. And when the users see it happen in real life, they turn a blind eye. This is done in mass and is now getting normalized, while also getting little to no attention whatsoever, probably besides this video. This psychological poison is seeping its way into your households right now. Look, I want you to think of your own children, brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. I know that you love them. I know that you do anything in the world to protect their young minds. But right now, you just standing still and doing nothing about this after watching this video will only increase their chances of stumbling across porn and potentially becoming addicted behind their parents' back. These cigarettes from our parents' generation have evolved to pixels on our phone screens. This is the new drug. We either keep our mouths shut, stay still, and look away when...
The spider is putting on some kind of performance.
In the middle of their invasion?
Spider's not going to let...
There's a new wave of darkness that is slowly consuming the internet right now.
pornography has become rampant. It's unbelievable what's happening online.
The massive wave of child P is engulfing social media by storm.
Elon Musk has made it his top priority to address child sexual exploitation on Twitter.
Where do I begin? I recently released a video on how CP was blowing up on Discord, and it scared me, like a lot. But it also begs the question, why is CP growing today so fast, so rapidly? When I tried to answer these questions, I found out that there's a lot more behind the CP incident than meets the eye.
Here we are.
29.3 million. That's the number of reports received by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2021 alone. That's over 563,000 reports every single week and over 80,000 reports every single day. Again, these reports are specifically regarding children being exploited. These numbers should shake you, especially if you have a little brother or sister or even have kids of your own. In the same year, the report shows that the adult entertainment industry is not only being consumed by adults anymore. The majority of children teenagers have been exposed to this film. A study says between ages 14 to 18, 84% of males and 57% of females view P in the USA alone. These are kids, not even near adulthood. These people are seeing more naked people in a matter of a few hours than any person would in their entire lifetime throughout history, thus perverting and sexualizing their young, impressionable, and malleable minds from such a young age. When a young man sees a woman, immediately he's thinking about the explicit and dangerous videos that are reinforced into his mind. This entirely changes the lens of how other human beings are viewed and interacted with, which can make it easier to commit sexually aggressive acts towards them. A meta-analysis actually shows that men and women who consume P are more likely to commit verbal and physical acts of sexual aggression. The results suggest that if the P they are already consuming is actually already violent...
What a Dion.
Here, you can get a good view. Fireworks. In the middle of a war.
The spider's not subtle. It should be easy to find him.
Miss me? Not really, you can still go on.
There's the main house. It's well guarded.
I'm coming back soon. Nick, you're saying it like a motherfucking trailer.
What are those buildings?
The full movie's coming out soon. Almost £100 made.
Not a bad plan.
Give me 50 and I'll believe you. Yo, Chad, you think he's gonna fall for that?
I think I see bamboo. It's dark.
Those are the gardens. I played hide and seek with
You emoji, feet emoji. I do like feet.
Might be able to sneak through there to get to the spider. Servants' quarters.
That's where we'll find our way in. See the fence on the left?
I don't see it.
I'll show you. Follow me. This way. There's a secret door.
It's locked.
There's a switch on the other side.
It's all right, Atsu.
She's being reckless.
She's trying to impress you.
I was left now.
They're even more likely to have more aggressive sexual behavior. On top of this, the demand for CP was increasing, and the school closures due to COVID-19 left children stuck at home, leaving them vulnerable to grooming and exploitation from predators online.
I am here for the spider.
Why do these people begin craving this content to begin with? Are they bored with it? Was there an external force that caused their sick addiction? I'll give you a perfect example. Where do people go in today's time to find underage XXX symbols,
Telegram.
softcore P, sexual dancing, and unrealistic beauty expectations?
TikTok.
None other than TikTok alone. This app creates an environment for young children and teenagers to record themselves following provocative and explicit dancing videos. These are trends that they want to act cool and follow with. They actually auto-apply beauty filters which make them look more attractive to our Eurocentric beauty standards.
I don't feel comfortable to do that.
And in return for they get their social validation and recognition, of course. These apps encourage and promote a skewed and unattainable version of beauty. TikTok actually has an algorithm that rates your face to determine if you're cute enough by giving you a score on under like beauty score standards. This is all done by machine learning without any human intervention whatsoever. Videos of people on a higher beauty range actually get more views in return. They were also under fire for automatically applying a minor beauty filter to all videos without any of the users' consent.
This is not what I look like, and I don't know how to fix it. I've gone through every possible option in the portrait, in the beauty filter is not on. I don't feel comfortable looking at myself and presenting myself in a way that isn't authentic.
However, their opinions obviously don't change the revenue that TikTok is generating by making people lust over this synthetic beauty. So there's that. Now, once this app does it, the rest of the apps will be forced to follow, because would you rather use an app that has more people that are more ugly, or an app that has people that are more attractive? Obviously, the app is going to pull you in with lust against your own will and use you as a tool to attract people to stay on their app as long as possible. TikTok is making the generation a lot more hypersexualized than they should be, especially towards the young teens and kids that are using their apps. They're making them look like models at such a young age. The Snapchat dog filter is the origin of seemingly harmless filters. When the dog filter was released, it showed people that real-time filter application was actually possible. It seemed like a harmless new piece of technology that just made, Snapchat surge in popularity and revenue and all of the above. Everyone knew about it because they were the first to do it. However, what I realized from the previous video I made on the Discord CP problem was that some of the Discord servers that are promoting and literally selling features publicly on Discord, by the way, there's a full video on it, cards above if you want to see that. I broke down the whole operation. But I noticed that these servers had similar names to each other, which is like Team Leak 10-17, and their pictures were usually of a very young girl with a Snapchat dog filter on her face. These filters actually encourage users to open up their mouths and stick out their tongues to perform the licking screen animation. I'm not sure if Snapchat realized, but this was inadvertently sexualizing the minors on their app. The children don't know what they're doing is actually exciting many predators across the web by them sticking out their tongues and acting like they're dogs licking the screen. How didn't they see this one coming? Cuties, a movie released internationally in September of 2020 with a promotional poster featuring a group of 11-year-old girls barely dressed showing off provocative poses on stage. It caused an uproar throughout the world and even pushed one of the most signed petitions with nearly 500,000 signatures to cancel the release. And yet it's still released. Now even liberals on Twitter, the ones that are all about cancel culture and promoting their own freedom, even these guys weren't in support of what was happening on this Netflix show. They faced the worst criticism. The director actually responded saying, it's because I saw so many things and so many issues around me lived by young girls that I decided to make this film to sound an alarm saying we need to protect our children by showing them half naked on stage doing a twerking dance. What do you mean protect our children? What's your version of protection? This is pure hypocrisy. The description given on Netflix is that of an oppressed little girl defying her family tradition of practicing Islam and joining and I quote literally right from Netflix, a twerking dance crew. We're talking about an 11-year-old girl here, which they then changed after a lot of backlash to a free-spirited dance crew. Doesn't change the fact that they're still 11-year-old girls twerking on Netflix. Only after backlash, they went and changed the name just to act like it never even happened. Because if you change the word twerk to free-spirited dance, people are going to forget that it's actually a twerking dance. Now honestly, aside from all of your political and religious views, could you imagine having a daughter who at the age of 11 years old is being put on stage to do a free-spirited dance, known as twerking, barely clothed for everyone to see? It's sickening, and this is exactly what's being played on the biggest streaming service on the planet. I can't believe the creators of the show are in prison already. Absolute filth.
Why you hawk to a spam that thing, bro?
Now, if I didn't mention this point right here, it's as if I didn't make this video at all. We know how CP is being introduced to the minds of millions around the world, but what's giving them the next rush once the craving has already started? They get it from TikTok and from Netflix, but what's making them want to come back from even more explicit content, and where are they getting it from? It's the P companies. They're actually producing content with key terms like teen, young, tiny in the titles to replicate the illegal CP videos that would normally land you in prison if you were to watch, but the actors in the video are depicting children and young adults. There are even some cases of actors wearing schoolgirl outfits to sell the effect that she's an actual child, when in reality they're over 18. They usually choose actors that are really, skinny and tiny and small, and make them wear these certain outfits and clothing, and they make this whole role seem like there's like a little 12-year-old girl in the scene, when in reality the person is over 18. Now, this is a loophole of making an 18-year-old girl that's totally legal look not so legal. It helps with fulfilling the pleasure of the predators online. It's a toxic way of harvesting views, but it's working. Do this at a scale, and you begin to understand why rates of incest are skyrocketing, while simultaneously tags such as stepbrother, stepsister are being pushed by the algorithm drastically. The consumers of P have been programmed to think that these interactions are more or less normal, that they can bring their fantasies to life in real life. The exact same concept applies to CP. As P gets normalized, CP doesn't seem too far off after all, especially when there's actors doing it right in front of your screen legally. Experts in internet CP cases explain that constant exposure to CP images and videos actually desensitize the viewer, leading them to desire more sexually violent CP and even younger victims to satisfy their ever-growing desires. If you put it this way, hardcore is a tag that 50 years ago would represent something simply like uncensored P that we see all over the web today, which is normal to us. Nowadays, you search up the term hardcore on an unsafe site, click on any video, as many of 90% of all the videos would show acts of actual aggression or even straight up violence. Now, this actually sparks an interest or a kink for minors in the viewers of these videos. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that it could spark an interest for viewing violent abuse for younger performers. Actually, a study even shows us that P videos featuring younger performers are actually more likely to be more aggressive than P featuring older performers. It shows you that the directors know exactly who they're catering to and which agenda they're trying to push on you. Like, if you start off watching normal P thinking it's going to be fine because it's totally legal, you might actually build this interest in wanting to view younger and younger people, because that's what these key terms are actually being ranked at the top of these search sites, of these P sites. P destroys communities at every given level, starting from the individual, training him or her to indulge in lust every single time they feel the desire for it, thus fulfilling the desire whenever it comes up. Countless studies actually show that P consumption is destroying marriages. Roughly 60% of divorce attorneys actually say that P played a significant role in their divorces. When humans get a taste of a drug, they want more and more of it, and actually even in more extreme forms. So if you view soft P, for an example, on apps like TikTok and Netflix, the demand for real P or even CP will increase the next time. And the craving for that will become hardcore, and then straight up violence. Then it'll become the new base level to satiate your dopamine. So there's an ever-increasing supply and demand feeding itself, making the market thrive. The same way that people use the term chase the dragon whenever they're doing drugs is the same way that your brain works on P, because you crave the drug more and more, chasing the feeling of your first high. % of all CP content found by individuals that were possessing these images and videos found that people that were depicted in these videos were actually 12 years old or younger. In fact, reports from Sex Offender Treatment Program implications for internet sex offenders state that 76% of prisoners arrested for CP possession have actually admitted to committing sexual abuse on children. This link shows you that CP usage can create a child molester. Like, just by watching it, thinking that, oh, it's just a video, it's not going to hurt, it can actually make you want to do it. Now, this makes sense because people who actually view P might fantasize as if they were the ones doing it themselves. Many of these sites nowadays have POV videos, so it looks as if you're the person doing it yourself. Overall, it's very conceivable to say something like that CP users envision themselves doing the act, and that they're watching, obviously, and it's a lot more violent, and they have a lot more of a desire to actually go and get it, because they're trying to visualize this and fantasize this, which in turn will make them actualize this, because a video can only satiate you for so long until the real thing is the next high.
Why don't you take the net off? Go after the spider.
So you may be wondering, how is this whole operation actually working? Isn't it banned off all these sites? Well, people are actually making accounts and servers across multiple social media platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and Discord to promote CP, all while profiting from it with their Bitcoin address. Now, they use Bitcoin, obviously, since it's harder to trace than anything else on the web. If the coins are tumbled properly, they
That's the ghost mask. Yo, finally.
It's nearly impossible to find out where the money's coming and where the money is going. Now, these users use their own slick wording to avoid getting banned.
With gold.
Like I explained in my last Discord CP video, they won't use the real CP.
In Japan, they fix things broken with gold.
Like other words that start with the C and with the P, like chess pizza, papega, cheese pizza, or even what I saw recently was caldo de pollo, which means chicken soup in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. There's also been reports of CP users writing MAP on their post. Unbelievable. Bro, MAP means minor attracted person. Or even, they're so slick, they'll put a MAP emoji on their post. And other CP users will actually see that and be like, oh, this person's legit. Other ways CP users buy and transfer material is through peer-to-peer transfer networks like LimeWire, BitTorrent, Telegram, or even most notably, Mega, which is a file-sharing website that CP users always use. These folders are sometimes as big as 522 terabytes. Not gigabytes, but terabytes of storage, containing cheese pizza videos, obviously. Now, these are encrypted and can only be opened with the password. Mega is known for being one of the most private file transfer sites on the internet. They're open source, so anybody can literally scrutinize their code and verify that it's actually unbreakable, and it's end-to-end encrypted so that not even Mega themselves could take a look at your files without using the key that only you have. All while making it so that these people don't even have their illegal data or their cheese pizza on their computers or their hard drives, since it's all stored in Mega servers. This actually makes it harder for them to get seized by authorities. Like, imagine they break into their house, hoping to find some cold, hard, empirical data saying, yeah, you have this stuff on your computer, it's in your hard drive, now we're going to arrest you and send you to prison. Well, now it's stored encrypted away in the cloud. So unless they have the password to it, which only the person has in their mind, then it's going to be really hard to convict somebody like this unless you have, IP addresses and data logs from their computer. And if they're smart with hiding, it's really hard to actually catch these guys nowadays. Visa and MasterCard cut ties with P-Hub in 2020 when New York Times dropped an article that was exposing how CP was being spread on the website. So as P-Hub was desperate to get the dirt off their name and trying to remove all these CP videos, it dawned on them. AI can't differentiate between a child and an adult, obviously, especially if they're close in age. AI aside, we as human beings can't even tell the difference between an 18-year-old girl and a 17-year-old girl. You have situations where a 20-year-old looks like she's 12, and sometimes a 12-year-old looks like she's 20. Let alone knowing if the video was consensual to begin with. There was no way to filter out all of these videos manually. It's just too much. So what they did was they actually deleted every single video on their site that wasn't uploaded by a verified account. That amassed to nearly, I think it was 80% of all of their content, which was over 10 million unverified videos. What a sincere move by MindGeek, the parent company of P-Hub and 8 out of 10 other P sites, that actually made things only worse. Because now Visa considered the problem to be solved, and they continue dealing with P-Hub, only to be accused of conspiring with to traffic children. It seems like it was some sort of partners in crime, right? Well, at least if you were the U.S. District Judge Cormac Carney, that stated that there's reason to believe that Visa knowingly proceeded payments that allowed MindGeek to monetize a substantial amount of child fees. And the court can comfortably infer that Visa intended to help MindGeek monetize child P. That's a bold claim, but a MindGeek representative states that MindGeek has a zero tolerance for the posting of illegal content on its platform and has instituted the most comprehensive safeguards in user-generated platform history. And the court will believe that. It seems like they actually might not. But the case is still going on regardless. It's clear that nobody can control the flow of CP despite numerous attempts. It's way out of hand. So what's the solution to removing CP off of social media platforms where CP users intend to advertise, sell, make money off of their content, potentially show new viewers and victims in the videos? Researchers suggest that a school-based education or law enforcement training may contribute to decreasing sexual abuse of children. And while this is true, a lot of the CP videos are actually from third world countries where you can't really impose a great education system that they're going to be learning about CSTEM and how to prevent themselves from getting into it. All these solutions seem way too out of hand unless you want to control the whole world and make sure they all have perfect schooling systems. That's way out of reach, at least not anytime soon. So a solution, probably the only solution to completely remove CP from social media platforms like Twitter, Discord, and Reddit is to simply remove all P from those platforms. Now this solution would not only wipe out CP completely off the internet,